Hi, my name is Rachel Moore. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist in San Diego, California. Today I'm going to be talking about EMDR. In the other videos I've made so far in this series, I've been talking about how pretty soon I'm going to talk about EMDR. So the day is today. Today is the day that we're going to talk about EMDR. EMDR stands for eye movement, desensitization, and reprocessing. It's a bit of a mouthful. And I first would like to read the official description of EMDR as I first learned it. And so that is that when a disturbing event occurs, it can get locked in the brain with the original picture, sounds, thoughts, feelings, and body sensations. EMDR seems to stimulate the information and it allows the brain to reprocess the experience. That may be what is happening in REM sleep or dream sleep. The eye movements back and forth help to process the associated material. It is your own brain that will be doing the healing, and you are the one in control. Okay, let's break this down. So, when a disturbing event occurs, it can get locked in the brain with the original picture, sounds, thoughts, feelings, and body sensations. That kind of means that, maybe something happened to you years ago, and for the most part, you think you've pretty much forgotten about it. When you do remember it, though, if it was traumatic, sometimes you might feel like you're there. You know that you're in present time, and you might also have the experience, the body experience, or seeing things, or hearing, or feeling, smelling, tasting, whatever it is. It might feel like you're also in that past experience. That's not what happens with like regular memories. Regular memories, you can just remember kind of in a more cognitive, like intellectual, thought way, not such a body, visceral, or emotional experience way. So that's a difference between trauma and like regular memories. So that's the first part. The second part, EMDR seems to stimulate the information and allows the brain to reprocess the experience. So that's the cool part. Is that we can talk a little bit. You don't have to talk a lot about your trauma in EMDR. You don't really have to say anything about it if you don't want to. You definitely don't need to talk about the details. So we don't need to like go over everything what happened. It's not necessary. It's just that you need to bring it up in your mind, your own mind. And when we do the eye movements back and forth, that's what the eye movement part of EMDR. We can talk a little bit about what that's all about and how we do that. But when we do the eye movements, it's helping the brain to reprocess the memory. So essentially, we're putting it into the regular memory storage so it doesn't have that strong reaction anymore. And it says, again, that may be what is happening in REM sleep or dream sleep. So the thing is, we don't really know how or why EMDR works. We just know from studies that it does work. And I know from my own experience as a client and my experience as a therapist, seeing my clients improve, like I can say, generally speaking, it works pretty well for most people. Some people, it may not be the best choice for, but those who are, it can work really well. Again, we don't know how or why. There are some other theories I won't go into now about how it works, but it's a fairly new theory, so they're still working on it, on figuring it out. And I like this. I really, 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 really like this part too. It is your own brain that will be doing the healing. That's kind of what I was talking about when I said you don't need to talk about the trauma necessarily. And you are the one in control. You can stop the eye movements at any time. I tell my clients, if you need to stop, just raise your hand. Now that we're at this point, we're doing a lot of work online. So, clients can even like just leave the screen or close their eyes or, they can, you are in control as the client as to how far, how fast, how you want to do this. So the eye movements, when we're in person, I have a stick of some sort. This is just my Apple Pencil that I can use for an example. And I will go from one side of the client's view to the other. So I'm going to follow this as a client, and you can watch my eyes. So here we go. I don't know if you can see my eyes moving. My head doesn't move, just my eyes track the movement. I have a program I use online that has a little ball that goes back and forth on the, I can share a screen. You can also tap on your shoulders back and forth, just whatever, we call it bilateral stimulation, back and forth stimulation. You can, sometimes we use sounds back and forth. You can tap on your knees, you can tap, like I said, tap in your arms. There's lots of different ways to do that part. And while you're doing that part, it says too here, in order to help you just notice the experience, you imagine riding on a train or watching a video, and these images, thoughts, feelings just pass by. It sounds like a very passive experience. I have to say that your brain is actually doing a lot of work. I've heard it said that an EMDR session is like 10 talk therapy sessions as far as the amount of work that you're doing and how you might feel tired afterwards. So, you know, I would suggest if you're doing EMDR, your therapist will probably tell you maybe be easy right after your session. Don't do anything too strenuous. And yeah, that's just a little bit about what EMDR is. There's certainly places you can go to find out more. I recommend the website emdr.org. I'll also link that below. And yeah, it's pretty neat. And I just think it's cool to let people know what it is. Because oftentimes, you know, something traumatic happens and I hear in the media or whatever, people say like, wow, that experience is going to be with them the rest of their lives. It's going to change their lives. It may change their lives one way or another. It may stay with them the rest of their lives. It doesn't have to necessarily be traumatic for the rest of your life. There are ways we can work with it. There's hope that it won't always feel that way. So that's what I wanted to share today about EMDR. I hope it's helpful, and I wish you the best. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.